What's going on, beautiful people? This is Cam Hilliard from Miller's RV in Baton Rouge, and today I want to show you a floor plan that sometimes gets forgotten about and sometimes it's the hottest thing on the market. Stay tuned. So before we get started, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to our channel, make sure to turn on post notifications so you can get an update every time we do something really cool, just like this. So without further ado, this is the 2025 Winnebago View 24V. All right guys, so right now we're gonna be on the entry side of the View. I did mention that this is a floor plan that sometimes is forgotten about. It seems like we don't hear anything about it, and then other times it's like the hottest thing that we have. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But first I wanna start on the outside. So it is a sleek finish on the View. So this is gonna be the full body paint job. Typically we order our Views with all the options available, cut usually the lithium battery. Typically in the South, we're always running the AC. So with the lithium battery setup that comes with this, you can't really run the AC unless you upgrade the inverter and stuff. And even with that, you wouldn't get tons of runtime. So aside from the battery, we typically order ours with everything. So this is gonna have the full body paint, the leveling jacks, all that good stuff. So I want to talk about the side view, the side compartments on this. So on any Class C, it's not known for having great storage, but with the Sprinter, I find that you have very usable storage. So none of it's going to be massive. Obviously, you don't have pass through like you do on a Class A or anything like that, but you have good sized storage compartments. So this one is going to be pretty decent size here. And then to the right of that, you're gonna have, and they are slam latches as well, guys. Sometimes it takes a little bit more effort to slam than others. This is gonna be your generator here. We do typically order ours with the diesel gen. I think we might have to adjust that there after the video, but we typically order ours with the diesel generator. Now, something for you to know, going on from late 2024, so the late 2025 models and on, the Views are only gonna be available with a propane generator. So that's something to keep in mind, guys. But that's something for another day. So we've also got another storage compartment here, which that's a good size as well. You've actually got plugs underneath that and a coaxial hookup if you want to put an outdoor TV. So I'm a big fan of that. And then back here, I do want to touch on the storage compartment here. So as I mentioned, you don't have like pass through, but this is pretty darn big here. So you can store your bigger items like your gazebos or outdoor tables or chairs in there. I think that would be a perfect spot for it. Of course, we do have a full length awning. You've probably gotten used to this if you've seen any of the other Views, really for the last 5 years, is that they're gonna have this flush mounted awning. So it looks really clean, it looks really good. And then when it comes out, you don't have any support arms that you have to worry about hitting your head on or anything like that. Also want to point out with the Winnebago, you will have one-piece fiberglass roof. You're gonna have one-piece molded front cap. So all of it is just gonna be quality, 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 and it's just a much better look. And you can see whenever we go around the front here, how much better of a look it is than maybe your multi-piece front caps. So we're gonna swing around to your passenger side, show you a couple of little things there, and then we're gonna jump inside. All right guys, so we're down the driver's side now, your non-entry door side. I do want to point out your water heater. So on all the Views, you will have the Truma Aqua Go system. So fantastic on-demand water heater. We won't touch too much on that right now. Underneath that, you're gonna have your utilities compartment, so your wet bay, if you will. You're gonna have your hardwired shore power cord, and then your drains here for your black and gray water as well. This is actually where your fresh tank's located, so you can't open that. In front of this, you're gonna have another storage compartment here, good size storage. Actually, I was wrong. That's actually where, I'm thinking of the 24D model. So your Murphy bed floor plan, you have your gray and black dump right there. On the 24V floor plan, this is actually gonna be your black. This is gonna be the sewage dump right here. So that's actually a good thing to note. You actually do lose storage on this compared to your 24D model. Interesting, I didn't realize that was the case. Now in the front, you're gonna have your propane tank, and then it's gonna be your jack motor and your jack pump for your hydraulic jacks. So that's pretty much it on this driver's side. We're gonna go ahead and jump inside. I think you guys are really gonna like this floor plan. All right guys, so we're inside the 24V now. If you remembered this floor plan, because like I said, I told you sometimes you forget about it, but it's a really good floor plan. Let me know in the comments below what you think. But guys, like I said, we're gonna order ours fully loaded typically. So you wanna there's some features that you can skimp on if you're gonna special order these, or if you're shopping for one, they may not have all the options. There's some options that I think you're probably good without. Like I said, depending on where you are, not getting the lithium batteries in most cases, or lithium batteries singular, you're fine not to do that in a lot of scenarios, but on others, you know, if you're way out west, it might be a good option for you. So you got to kind of weigh those things out depending on where you're at and what you want to accomplish with it. That's a big thing, especially when considering lithium. Honestly, I like the jacks a lot. I probably would not get really any view without the jacks. I think that's something that you really want, because even like right now, I don't have the jacks down. I don't know if you can tell, but it rocks just by doing that. So if you have 2 people in here, or even 3 or 4, it's just not gonna be super steady. So that's something, and most dealers are gonna order that. So when you're shopping, just double check, make sure that they have jacks. I really wouldn't get one without that. Also, remember we talked about on the outside, your full body paint. That's another thing that I think is really good to have. It's gonna make your coach look beautiful as it was when the day you picked up. It's gonna make it look really good for a lot longer. Whereas if you have decals, not always the case. Decals can crack, they can peel, they can fade. The paint just seems to hold up a lot better. So that's one I would recommend. If there's, you know, an option where you can get it without it and save a little money, if that's important to you, then do that. But I typically do like to get the full body paint. So this one is going to have dual pane windows. That's another one that it's kind of a preference thing. It's gonna be up to you. One thing that's always cool to do with dual pane windows, so if you don't have dual pane, if you didn't have dual pane windows, you can put your hand against a window and you can feel a lot of heat coming in whenever it's obviously a hot day outside. With the dual pane, there's not as much. So that's a big plus. Also, I prefer personally the shades that come with the dual pane instead. So this is gonna have bug screen at the top, and then below, you're gonna have your blackout shade there. So I actually really like that. The dual pane window itself, again, I'm in between on that, but to my knowledge, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but to my knowledge, you can only get these shades with the dual pane windows. So just again, something to consider there. So to talk more about this specific floor plan. So we're gonna be in the kitchen area now. If you compare this to, you know, your 24D model, your Murphy bed model, not as much countertop space. I could make do with it. I would probably kind of like build something that went over this to give you more countertop space. I could use this induction as countertop space. But then you do have your dual sink here. I love this sink because it's really deep. Personally, I prefer like one open sink, but I know my wife likes 2 sinks, so she can have one side that she can fill up like soapy water so we can clean stuff, and the other side empty. So I know that that's a big hit for a lot of folks. Also, I like that your faucet can pull away here. I love having the spray faucet. It makes it fun to spray people, and it's easy to wash dishes with. And of course, you're not busting your knuckles on this because you have a really tall faucet as well. So I like that a lot. Even though there is less countertop space, I think they did pretty well with the kitchen. For your 2 cooking functionalities here, you are gonna have the induction, which is great if you don't want to use your propane. And then you are gonna have just your regular striker fired 1 propane burner here. So I like that. Above me, you're gonna have a convection microwave. I actually prefer the location of this on some other floor plans, because some other floor plans, they put the microwave down low. It's not that big of a deal for me, but it's something I like it up high just because, I don't know, I feel like it's a lot easier. Like bending down to get in the microwave is, I don't know, it's sometimes kind of strange. But I like this being up top. You're gonna have your TV here. This is gonna be ordered with the entertainment package. To my knowledge, most dealers get this. It's basically just a sound bar that comes with it. If the one you're looking at doesn't have it, not a big deal. You can always add that later. But I like it just because typically the TVs aren't gonna have the greatest audio, and this is Bluetooth and all that, so you can play your music or good TV audio, all that. So this actually will pull and open up. So behind this, you're gonna have a paper towel holder. If you've seen any of the 24D or really any of the other views, you probably recognize that. And then you have just a little area back here to store, you know, you can put a Wi-Fi router there. Like typically if you get Starlink installed, you can put it in this compartment. You could put, you know, an Xbox, you name it. So that's a really nice little compartment there. So to my left, we're gonna have recliners. Now this is gonna be something, guys, that is different for your late 2024 and your 2025 model views that come with recliners. So in the past, these recliners were manual, and the manual is not bad. That's not a deal breaker for me. I don't really mind it. But these are going to be interesting. I didn't know they had that. These actually have USBs on the outside. Yeah, on both sides you have 2 USB plugs. So that's a plus. I didn't realize it there. But the chair itself is gonna be electric now. So I love that. They're really comfy. I'm not gonna get too cozy in here. I might doze off, guys. But one thing that I do want to point out, this may be something that you might not consider, but when shopping, whether you're looking at this product or other products, it's a good thing to consider are your recliners operated off of 12 volt or 110? If they're operated off of 110, you either have to have the inverter on or you have to have the generator running or be plugged in to use the recliners with the electric function. And most of the ones that are electric don't have a manual option. So what I'm saying is if it's powered by that, you have to have generator just to recline or inverter. Whereas this, it's 12 volt. So even if my inverter's off, I'm not plugged in, I don't have my generator going, I can still operate the recliners. So that's a plus for me. This actually doesn't have, since it's a smaller space, on the 24D View model, you have a cup holder, little armrest that'll come down here. So this doesn't have it. Not that big of a deal for me though, to tell you the truth. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna head to the back here. I wanna show you guys the bathroom, and then I wanna show you what really makes this floor plan unique and why it's something that checks a lot of boxes for folks. Okay guys, so down this way, we're gonna have our 12 volt fridge. You guys know I love a 12 volt compressor driven refrigerator. This is gonna be the Norcold brand. I prefer the 12 volt because they cool faster, and from my experience, I have less problems with these than I do with your two-way fridges. So 10 cubic foot, decent sized fridge and freezer. Should get the job done for this amount of people that you would probably have in this view. So I do like the fridge. Really not a ton to talk about that, but that is something that I like. So above the fridge, this is gonna be really, aside from your generator and your air condition, and I forgot to point out, but your air condition controls are on that wall there. And this is a ducted AC, it's not non-ducted. It's a ducted AC, Coleman Mach, washable filter, so the whole 9 yards. But yeah, so other than your jack controls and your air condition, your base of operation is gonna be right here. So you're gonna have your generator controls here. That's gonna stay the same even when this does go to the propane generator, that's gonna stay in the same spot. You have your holding tank heaters. So those are 12 volt, basically pulsers that pulse through your holding tanks to keep it from freezing, so you can use this in below freezing temperatures. You're gonna have your slide out control here, and then right here you're gonna have your one control from your water for your water pump. You also got another one outside in your wet bay and another one in the bathroom. And then you do have your tank level and your battery level stuff here. To the right of that, you're gonna have your Xantrex inverter control. And then above that, you have your solar controller. Typically, your solar controller you're not really having to mess with unless you change the style of batteries or change the type of batteries that are in it, mostly just for viewing there. So we're gonna swing around so you guys can get a better look at the bathroom, and then we're gonna jump to the bedroom back here. All right, guys, so we're in the bathroom now. The bathroom in the 24V is not gonna be anything like massive because it is gonna be a mid-bath. But surprisingly enough, it actually does have a pretty good sized shower. So it's not like a perfect square or not a perfect rectangle. It's kind of I don't know what you call it, trapezoid, something like that. But it's not bad size. So you do have the squeegee shower door here. So you guys know I love that. It squeegees off the water so you don't have to worry about your shower curtain mildewing or anything like that. Good size skylight here. I'm 5'11", I've got plenty of room. So good height here. I like the chrome shower faucet. Also, of course, it's removable. And then one thing that I like too is especially important if you're boondocking or anything like that, you do have the water shut off. So like instead of having to like turn this water off each time and waste more water waiting for it to get hot and cold, instead you just shut that off and it cuts the water flow from here. So then if you're boondocking or if you're anywhere that you don't have, tons of water supply, you can conserve as much water as possible. So to the right, we're gonna have a little medicine cabinet area here. So that's fantastic. And then below that, we do have a porcelain toilet on this, guys. So I like having the porcelain toilet. And then for your sink, not a knuckle buster sink. Easy to wash our hands here, no problems. There's a lot of mirrors, and this is kind of interesting, but for some reason, yeah, we got a lot of mirrors here. Underneath the sink, we're gonna have more storage as well. So that's gonna be great for towels, toilet paper, toilet chemicals. So you actually got towel racks here right on your door as well. So 3 towel spots there. So that's a nice addition. And then for the toilet, you do have, I always like to check this, you do have good leg room. Sometimes I hate when you feel, crammed when you're on the toilet. There is good knee room. Even with the door closed, we'll have plenty of room. So I like that a lot. Like I said, the bathroom is not huge by any means, but it does the job, and actually, it seems like it should be more compact than it is. So I'm impressed with that. All right, we're gonna swing around so you guys can check out the bedroom. This is why this floor plan is different than most. All right, guys, so we're in the bedroom area now. This is why it's the 24V, because you've got two, well, the V doesn't really mean anything. It's just to tell one from the other. Especially, it's gonna confuse you guys when the 24T floor plan rolls around, and we're gonna have a video on that here pretty soon. It should be getting to us in the next couple of days. So stick around for that. Let me know in the comments if you guys are excited for it, because I'm pumped. It's pretty exciting. So again, twin beds back here. You can make this into what looks to be around a king size bed, probably an RV king. Whenever you fold everything out, you do have the Euro spring style mattress, or the Euro springs underneath here. So I'm sorry, Frawley springs, but European style springs. You've got the Frawley springs underneath. So it is gonna make it where, sorry, I hit the light. It is gonna make it where it's a lot more comfortable, adjust to the different positions where you have weight. So it's gonna be more of a custom sleep experience for everyone who gets in here. It's not just the same for, or like kind of like a medium. It should be comfortable for most folks. You can still add a mattress topper if you want. But yeah, so we ordered this one with the TV. That's another one of those options like I'm not really that concerned about. If you didn't order with TV, you can always add that later. Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent on that. So we do have 2 windows on the left and right, or 1 window each on left and right. These are gonna be the dual pane windows still, and still with the bug screen and the blackout shade. Now behind me, you don't have the blackout shade. I'm sorry, you don't have the bug screen. You just have the blackout shade. This is MCD roller. And since this is your emergency exit, it's not gonna be a dual pane window. So just keep that in mind. They're not able to put a dual pane there. But yeah, you still have dual pane left and right, so you can open that up and get some cross sprays, which will be great. Underneath here, you're gonna have your reading lights. So this is gonna be just a little soft night light there, and then you hold it down, oops, and then you've got the brighter light there, and they'll both do that. On each side, you're gonna have the little 12-volt cigarette lighter plug, you're gonna have 2 USB plugs, and you're gonna have 2 110 plugs as well on both sides. And then if you guys have seen anything on the Winnebago Travada, if you've seen any of those videos, or if you ever looked at those products, you have the little storage area here for like your phone, or I guess you name it. You wanna put, you know, flashlights or whatever in there, you can, and you've got that on both sides too. So that's a plus for me. Above, you're gonna have a good bit of overhead storage. That's a benefit of a twin bed, is that they kind of like usually U-shape the storage. So really good cabinet space here. And these all actually, okay, so these 2 connect, but they do have like a little partition in between, but if you put above, you can still connect. And same with these, and then it's gonna be the same with these as well. So you can kind of make the most out and use them as you want. To my left and right, we're gonna have 2 cool features here. So to the left, we're gonna have a smaller cabinet unit that you can actually take the drawers out of, and you can turn this into hanging space. Now it's not gonna be the biggest hanging space compared to the one across from me, but it makes it where you can use it as either, you know, different level drawers, or you can use it as hanging space. And even the drawers themselves can be customized. You can raise the levels of those. So I love that. If you've seen, Winnebago likes to do that a lot of times in the kitchen area. I just like being able to kind of make it my own. So I like that. To the right, we're gonna have more closet storage. Right now we got our stuff in here. We just got this thing in, so excuse that. But you got your table that you can mount in the front. You can mount that either in front of the recliners, or you can mount it in front of the driver and passenger seat. And then in the rest of here, this is probably, yeah, this is your front window. Or, oh, that's the curtain that hangs. Should hang, well, I say that. I believe that's a curtain that hangs. I just don't know where it is. Maybe it hangs around the bunks. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, that's just miscellaneous stuff in there. So we're gonna swing around so you guys can see the front driver's area, and then also you can see your overhead bunk there that adds to your sleeping space. All right, guys, so we are at the front of the view now, and there's one thing that I really wish I would have mentioned earlier, but there's something I'm really excited about. It's got pros and cons. It's something that is going to be more expensive, and unfortunately it's not something that you can like opt out of, but there's a new Mercedes chassis now this is built on. So it used to be built on the 6-cylinder 188 horsepower. This is going to be a 4-cylinder. So again, it does cost a little bit more. That's out of our control. I wish it didn't, but it does. But it does produce 20 horsepower more, so 208. It also produces more foot-pounds of torque. Tell you the truth, the whole driving experience was actually a little bit more pleasant. I think the View already drove great. So it's one of those things where like you don't, if you drive the 6-cylinder, you don't think it needs to be improved, because, well, I say there's always improvements, but you don't think it's bad. And then you drive this and you're like, wow, okay, I see they kind of made things better. If you've driven any of the 6-cylinder chassis, you know how when you press the pedal, you have that little bit of like throttle lag, a little bit of lag input where you press it and there's kind of like a dead spot on the pedal. They've removed that on this. I'm not a mechanic. I can't tell you how they did it, why they did it, what way they accomplished it, but it is the case, and it's really cool. Also, the overall noise level of the engine is going to be lower. I don't know if it's just like if you stand outside when it's running, the engine itself is quieter. Also, I don't know if they've changed any insulation up front, but it seems like I get less wind noise whenever I drove this than I had on the previous model. So I'm excited about both those things. One thing to consider too, when looking at the Winnebago Views, aside from some one-offs during your COVID times, whenever the chassis weren't as readily available, the Views are going to have all your Mercedes safety options. So they're going to have your adaptive cruise control, your lane assist. When you get tired, it's going to tell you you're tired, all that cool stuff. Both these seats do swivel around, really easy to do. So if you haven't seen it before, I can show you. These both swivel around. So you have your seat area here, you have additional sitting here, and like I said, you can put the table that was in that closet, you can put it on either of these locations. So that's a big plus. Also, if you're ever curious, these are electric seats, they're heated seats as well. But if you're ever curious why there are 3 settings on it, typically you have it for, your 2 main drivers, and the third setting is a great option because the third setting, sometimes you have to finagle this, like depending on who was driving it last, you kind of have to like finagle the chairs to get them to swivel. Now you saw I didn't have to open up the door, I didn't have to move the steering wheel, anything, and that was first take. We didn't go adjust it or anything before this. But if you're changing drivers and sometimes you do have to adjust it, then you can set that number 3 setting as the setting that is optimal for swiveling the chair. So then all you have to do is hold that button, it moves the chair in optimal position, and then you can just swing it around with no problem. So that's a good thing that you can do, just kind of like a little pro tip for you there. Also, you do have your bunk area here. So since we opted for the recliners on this, you don't have the little trifold couch there. You have the bunk either way, but instead of sleeping 4 to 6, now you have 3 to 4. So you do obviously 2 in the back and then 2 up here. So you have windows on either side, which I like. Here I go saying so again. I know you guys are gonna zing me for it, but you have windows on either side, which I like. I like the way it looks from the outside, honestly. I think it's a really sleek look, but also from the inside, you can just open it and it's really, kind of adds some natural light to it. So you do have a max air fan up here. This is dual function, so it can either push air out or pull air in. I said it backwards, yeah. No, pull air out or push air in. So that can help cool on like a really hot day if you want to suck some of the air out and pump it in, so it just kind of helps cool it. Tell you the truth, in the South, we don't really get to like use that often, like some of you guys do out, Midwest, out north, or up north. It's great if you're other places where you just have to run the fan, like you don't have to use the AC. That's a great option to have because you already have a big fan blade that moves a lot of air. Whereas some of the other Class C's will have smaller fan blades that just don't move nearly as much air. So in the Mercedes area, I won't talk too much about this because I did mention all your safety features, but you do have built-in GPS. And actually, I forgot to mention too, this is new for the late 24 and 2025 models, really all your 4-cylinder chassis. You're going to have the digital rear view mirror. I love that because you used to have a rear view mirror here that did no good because you can't really see out the back anyway. So that's a big upgrade that I'm really happy about. That's something that if you're looking at one that doesn't have that, you could always add that later down the road. So really that's something that it's good to have, saves you money so you don't have to just like, spend cash on upgrades right away. But guys, all in all, I really like this twin bed floor plan. Like I said, it's one that seems to, we'll have it for a while and most people don't really want to look at it. They're not interested in twin beds. And then all of a sudden, everybody wants twin beds. So if you have one available, I would at least, or one available near you, I'd at least suggest going to look at it because I think it's a pretty cool floor plan. Yeah, all in all, we really like it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. If there's anything that I didn't mention that you'd like to see, please let us know. And as always, enjoy the journey.